Welcome into this Monday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio this afternoon, just after 1 o'clock. Lane Kiffin met with the media via Zoom about an hour ago, so we will discuss that. The fact that Ole Miss has one more week off prior to playing, barring any complications, December 12th, December 19th.
Welcome to this Monday edition of the Oxford
Exxon
Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready,
in a week or so.
Ford studio this afternoon.
Good bit of stuff today.
1
Vanderbilt
o'clock.
fires Derek Mason. Look at lines for the week. Even though Ole Miss is not playing, there are other games this weekend. This is worst kept secret in the world, but Luke Altmaier makes at least part of what's coming for him as he decommits from Florida State. So that and plenty more. Here on the podcast is brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Download the Speed Pass Plus app. Use it. It's a very efficient way to pay right there at the pump. Don't have to go inside. Don't do anything. Pay right there on your smartphone. You get on with your day as quickly as possible. You also earn points, save money in the process. What's not to love there? You can also get a lunch special inside the Oxford Exxon, $5.69, two sides bread, 32-ounce drink for that. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900 is that number. Call it, ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for, and he'll give you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line, no hassle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. What they do is they give you great service there. You get a great product, of course. The service is amazing. We're having 2 of our vehicles serviced today. I'm not having to go to Amory to do it. Just coordinating a little bit with Corey and the fine people there at Clark Ford. Corey always says he wants to be your truck guy. He wants to be your car guy. He'll prove it to you when you make the call. 662-257-1900. We will have guests join us this week on the Rafters Music and Food hotline. Rafters Music and Food in Oxford is closed this week until the weekend. So weekends only now that school is out, which feels weird to say, but school is out. The college is out anyway. High school, thank God. Middle school, elementary schools are back. But in Oxford, the Ole Miss kids have gone home for the most part. So the campus and the Rafters Music and Food is closed until the weekend. Rafters in New Albany, however, is open Tuesday through Sunday, so you can still get your Rafters fix and get ready for the weekend ahead when they'll open things back up at Rafters Music and Food in Oxford.
So a couple days after Ole Miss 31, Mississippi State 24. If you missed any of that, you can just go back to our live stream that went on for, 11 hours or something like that. On
12.
12?
Mm-hmm.
All right, 12 hours on Saturday. Pre-game show, in-game show, and then obviously post-game show that has the most up-to-date information we had at the time. Lane talked about it, said he got not surrounded. He talked to people around town Saturday night, went out with family and different things. And then as the last couple of days have gone on, I will say he's and I think it's going to be one of those 72 hours and sort of move on thing. Lane had a little fun on Twitter. Ole Miss had a little fun on Twitter. I still think page turns and it probably kind of ends, though, Neal. I don't think this is going to be some year-long thing. I don't think it's going to be a month-long thing. It feels like here's kind of a sudden little burst and have a little bit of trolling and then move on with your day.
I'm sorry, I missed what that was about.
No, I'm just talking about like the way sort of the reactions to winning the egg has been with Ole Miss, Lane, whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's having some fun with it. He said today that, it was one of those deals where it meant more. He could tell it meant more than maybe he thought it did to people. He went out in town, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. People get mad at me about this one. I don't. My opinion on it is it's just you've got to you can't act like this is the end all be all. And Ole Miss just to this point doesn't seem to really know how to do that. They went pretty heavy on the social media, and they went pretty heavy with the players and the cigars and out on the field and pictures with the egg and all of that stuff. And I just think there has to get to a point, and maybe they're not there yet, where you get to a point where you have to minimize that. But now listen, and when I say that, let me preface this by saying, and people don't like it when I say this, but I'm not an Ole Miss guy. I'm not a Mississippi guy. The game doesn't mean to me what it means to a lot of people. So me saying that really is one of those things that my opinion doesn't really matter. It's my opinion that from a big-time program standpoint, you don't see LSU taking pictures with the boot. You don't see LSU passing cigars around, passing the Magnolia Bowl trophy around. They wait till they win the big stuff. I mean, Alabama beats Tennessee, and they'll break out the cigars. Alabama beats Auburn, and Alabama's desperately trying to make the even the Iron Bowl a little bit of, we're supposed to win this damn thing.
Doesn't Auburn have a cigar game too? Is it Georgia?
Georgia.
It's Georgia. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I seem to remember that. Well, I think, too, at least at this point of it, it's almost a time thing for me. It's not even necessarily what they do on Saturday night. And, again, there are more games remaining. It's a completely different year than what we're used to, because usually it goes into the off-season and all that kind of stuff and bowl prep or whatnot. I think the catch is, even if you're going to enjoy it and have your big 48, 72 hours, it's just move on then. You know what I mean? Like, There can almost be a cutoff time, kind of like coaches talk about, hey, we're going to enjoy this tonight and we're going to get up tomorrow. Even if you are going to take it a little more than we're talking about and have your fun, okay, that was good. Over, mission accomplished. Move on with your day. I think that's kind of the immediate goal for Ole Miss as they do this.
Will Clements makes a great point in the thread. He says Neal doesn't understand the game, and that is completely okay, but this is one of the more toxic rivalries and fan base battles in all of sports. And Will's right. I mean, I don't deal with that. I don't know, frankly, I don't know a lot of Ole Miss people. I don't know many Mississippi State people at all, and it's not like it's not a game that I grew up with. It's not a game that, like, I was surprised the other day. We were doing the butcher versus the spin instructor, and Campbell said that they had Ole Miss Mississippi State Day at school, and I was like, God, I don't remember that. You know, I mean, it's one of those things that was never a big deal in my house, and so, you know, like when we go to Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, there's no Mississippi State Ole Miss banter back and forth. So Will's exactly right. It's not something that I grew up with, and it's probably something that I don't understand.
I'm not a trash talker. I kind of enjoy stuff and move on with my day, whether it be Saints or whatever. I would, and I was outnumbered big time. I would dread school after an Ole Miss lost to State in, frankly, any sport. I would get heckled and harassed at school, pretty much basketball, baseball, football, moving forward all the time. Now I'm an adult now, like nobody would. Facebook's a joke, but I mean, Facebook's always a joke no matter what. And the point here is, and whoever had it, JM says it, this is the truth. The Egg Bowl means less when Ole Miss starts to win more. That's when it happens. When you've got bigger eyes on your prize, period, there's not room for that. When you're worried about the SEC West, or you're worried about competing with Alabama, or you're worried about trying to get to the Citrus Bowl, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, the other is just kind of be a path on the thing. And, yeah, I think there is a point where Ole Miss is not there yet. You know, look, Lane did not actually take anything personally. He was trolling Mike Leach yesterday morning. He was playing with Mike, I assume.
I didn't see that.
Okay, so Lane tweeted at Ole Miss, State, and Leach, like added them, and then said, like, a trophy emoji. Then it said, like, now and always, or for something. I forget what the word was, but then he put a picture of Leach pulling his mask down from Jackson back in the summer, and then under it he used the Michael Jordan meme that said, you made it personal, or it became personal to me, or something along those lines.
So he was screwing with it.
I thought he was screwing with Leach is all that was, yeah. It felt like he was messing with Leach.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the deal. And the one thing I've said that I'll maintain that is accurate on this, whether I understand the rivalry or not, or any of that stuff, is at Ole Miss specifically, if Lane Kiffin's going to take the Ole Miss program where he states that he wants to take it, where people that are around him claim that he wants to take it, beating Mississippi State has to become an afterthought. Now, he sort of said that today. He said it's a series that we plan to dominate. It's a series where we don't want to lose to them. We don't ever plan to lose to them.
Our goal is to dominate and never lose, I believe, is the sentence.
You know, and to get where he wants them to be, Clemson-ish, Oregon-ish, you got to win that game 8 out of 9 times, 9 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times. You've got to dominate that series to the point that when you lose, Mississippi State goes crazy running the trophy around because they don't win much. And it hasn't been that way. I mean, you know, so you do have to win your way into that place, and that takes time.
You win your way into it in two ways. You into it in the actual rivalry, and then you win your way into it by just being by far on a national level the more relevant program. Because, you know, Alabama-Auburn is one way to look at it. I think that's relevant. But really what you're looking for, in my opinion, is almost more Oklahoma State. where, yeah, sure, Oklahoma State might get them occasionally, but even when they do, there's no doubt who's running the state of Oklahoma.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
of course.
It's that deal where, hey, yeah, you might lose to them and you might do this, and they might get you and they'll tear down some goalposts and jump on the field, but at the end of the day, they're still going to the Belk Bowl and you're still trying to get to the Outback Bowl or whatever it is. You go, okay, good job, but we're still bigger thing here, and we'll swat you next year.
I mean,
that's the goal.
Ole Miss's goal has to get to a place where a few years ago in 2016, Alabama made Ole Miss a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That told you arrived. You were there. You were on Alabama's radar.
Had full focus for them on 2016.
They were locked in. Absolutely. I mean, that's how you get there. I mean, you
LSU
win your way
14,
there.
15.
Sure. You win your way there. And so, in fairness, they didn't. I'm not criticizing it. I cannot relate to it. I don't know what it is like to be an Ole Miss fan growing up in Mississippi. I have no idea. Don't claim to. My ties to Ole Miss grow weaker and weaker and weaker by every passing year. And I admit that openly right here on this show, even though it's probably not the smartest move in the world, but it's the truth because I want to be transparent. I'm simply saying from a football standpoint, for that program to get where it wants to go, the next, like in 2022, when Ole Miss beats Mississippi State in Oxford, there has to be a certain, cool. Whatever. Got it done. Did it again.
Yeah, you bypass the mousetrap a little bit. You know what I mean? Hey,
yeah.
they're going to show up. They're all pumped up. Just get through it. Get through the game.
And I think, and I could be wrong, so I'm prefacing this with I could be so wrong. Just my opinion, watching it kind of from 30,000 feet, when I see all the pictures of the fawning over the trophy, Kenny Yeboah refers to it as his baby, people kissing the trophy, stuff like that, I think, man, you guys are kind of playing into their hands. That's what I think. And maybe I am completely wrong. I will totally acknowledge that. But in any year where that's the biggest win on your season, the biggest win of your season did not result in anything resembling a championship. And this year's a kind of a one-off. I throw it out. Doesn't matter. They knew they didn't have a game this week. They knew that on Saturday. There was no game to get ready for today.
Sure.
In an ideal world, if you're Ole Miss, where you want to get is that the game literally doesn't mean anything other than you clinched a spot in the SEC championship, and you got to get up the next day and get ready for Florida or Tennessee or Georgia, whoever it is that you're playing over on that side. When you're playing for essentially a national college football playoff play-in game in Atlanta. That's where you want your program to get to, but you're not there yet. So I'm not making any big mass judgments on it. I would if you told me, hey, you can take a quick junket forward in time, as long as you promise me I can come back. I'm not ready to give years away. and go look at it. I'd love to see what it looked like November of 22. Be curious. I'd be curious to see if it was a little more understated.
And it was a start that the game was just a football game on Saturday. There was no antics. I mean, there was in-game chippiness that happens with any in-game chippiness, but nothing that made it look like Ole Miss State. And, oh, my God, here we go again.
No.
You didn't give Uncle Harold any kind of ammunition on Thanksgiving weekend this week. It was just, okay, cool. They played a football game. I mean, in some ways, I feel like the state media was almost kind of frustrated by it. I saw multiple tweets like, hey, this is just kind of a game tonight. Well, that's the goal and the point.
And that's kind of my point. That's what they want. They want it to be the biggest deal in the world to Ole Miss, even understanding that by doing that, they're going to lose some.
Mm-hmm.
They want, when they lose, for Ole Miss to do precisely what Ole Miss just did yesterday or Sunday, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what they want. That's my only point. It's not a judgment. I'm not playing. I freely admit that I don't have an understanding of it. I get it completely. And I don't know what it's like to play in that rivalry. And the last 2 years, that rivalry's been really nasty. They had the big fight and the deal with Elijah and Luke Logan last year and all the stuff that State did, in that game with wearing the gold and all the crap. I get it. But there does come a point, in my opinion, and maybe I am completely wrong, but I do think there comes a point where you have to go, okay, we're bigger than this.
When we talked about this, you hope you get to a point where the talent level is so different that you just got to execute and win the football game to where Lane goes, God, you only get so many weeks to do the emotional energy thing. You can't do that 12 weeks. You'll burn them out. You got to pick weeks to where you go, hey, we got to get high as a kite here. We've got to go adverse. We got to be that. You don't really want to waste one of those on State if you can get to the point that you don't have to.
Well, you want to get to the place where you've got so much talent on the field that it's all good. Let's go do our thing.
Yeah. You tell your guys, hey, look, they're going to come out like fire ants. Just stem that wave. You're the better team. Let's go win the game.
I mean,
on three.
It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear to me after watching 8 games, and we haven't seen Ole Miss Texas A&M yet.
Sure.
We haven't seen Ole Miss LSU yet.
Sure.
But it's pretty clear to me the one game that meant the very most to Lane Kiffin this year.
Alabama.
No doubt. He wanted that one.
Yeah. And did a hell of a job toward it for a while.
And once the other ones too. I think I give them credit. They've been pretty consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure my phone's not blowing up on something. Hold on one second. I'm probably good. I don't think this is what it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Talk on that a little bit.
Like I looked at it here. Let's see. Alabama. Twitter after the game, they retweeted some like SEC Network stuff and stuff like that. But as far as their in-house account, they have one final score tweet from Alabama Auburn on Saturday. This is how we roll. Bama factor, roll Tide, with just an infographic with the score. That's it. And
I've told you this. They're geniuses over there. Now look. In fairness to
they have a shit ton to work with.
Yeah, in fairness to Ole Miss, this didn't happen
immediately.
This was not the case in 2007.
You got to get here.
Yes, I'm not. Before anybody thinks I'm being critical, I'm not. I'm not trying to be. I hope I'm not. But Alabama's program right now is built on 2 things: we win championships and NFL. And to Ole Miss's credit, now Ole Miss flipped the page to some NFL stuff on Sunday as well.
Yeah, the tone has started getting there more.
Yeah, Alabama's program is built on we're going to win championships, we're going to get shit ton of national awards for individuals, and we're going to have first-round draft picks who succeed in the NFL on Sunday. That's it. It's not, hey, we beat Auburn. Nope, you don't see them do that. Now, they might remind LSU of what got said, but then they'll move on from it. They will not dwell on it. They might burn a tweet or two Saturday night.
Yeah, Ole Miss did a better job on Sunday. What you'll see from Bama, because they do a good job of it, is it's the hashtag Bama factor and all that on Saturday with their games. And as soon as 12 o'clock on Sunday hits, it's the built by Bama. And it's X player, X player, X player, X player, X player, X player.
Yeah. I mean,
nonstop, over and over and over and over.
That's why kids are going there. That's how they get 5-star.
It's a Derrick Henry infomercial for a little while on Saturday, on Sunday.
Of course. That's what they do.
And Ole Miss has done a good job with DK and AJ and the whole deal.
But no, look, Saban's been there 14 years or whatever it's been, so it's going to take a minute. And if you told me that Lane Kiffin was at Ole Miss for 14 years, I would tell you that at the end of 14 years, he would not be talking about Mississippi State other than that week. Look, I thought he laid the groundwork to do that. The whole this is our what was it? The whole they did the hat and the T-shirts and stuff. I'm drawing a blank.
We run the SIP.
We run the SIP. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, you're laying the groundwork for we're about to make you guys secondary. Now you got to do it. And they're 1-0, which is all they can be right now. You can't be 4-0 when you've only done it once.
Well, and they didn't play well. There's a hell of a lot of Ole Miss teams that don't play well and get popped in that game.
Yeah.
You survived it not playing well.
Yeah.
I thought defense actually played pretty well most of the night. But
what Lane Kiffin has to do is he's got to put Ole Miss in a spot where when you're on Alabama's schedule, on Auburn's schedule, on LSU's schedule, when Georgia draws you, they're like, whoa, we're going to have our hands full.
Yeah. But Georgia fans get the schedule and go, shit, we've already got to play them and now got to play them too? Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
where's Arkansas? That'd be
and
nice.
you can only get there with time.
Yeah.
It takes time to get there. And listen, this season's off to a great start. I mean, this season's not over. There's still a couple of opportunities. I think they have a real opportunity to make national news in 12 days. I'm assuming that's when the Texas A&M game will be. And if you made me pick today, I would pick Ole Miss over LSU. Watching what I've seen.
LSU is combusting more by the day, it feels like right now. So Terrence Marshall opts out, their best wide receiver.
No, they have a mess on their hands.
Yeah.
So he's got momentum, and, people can talk about should have and would have and all that, but I'm a big believer in you have to learn how to win. This team did not know how to win going into this season. It's still learning how to win. Yes, it could be 6-2. Absolutely. They could have beaten Auburn. They could have beaten Arkansas. They could be 2-6.
Mm-hmm.
The state game, the ball's in the air on the final second with Mississippi State having a chance to tie the game or go for 2 and win it.
Sure.
So, and Kentucky was an extra point.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? So, you've played 4 toss-ups. You've won 2. You've lost 2. And State wasn't a toss-up. Ole Miss was better than was better than
they dominated statistically.
They were better than Mississippi State, but they left the door open for Mississippi State to kind of backdoor them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it didn't happen. And Ole Miss was in it against Florida, but Florida was better than Ole Miss. And Ole Miss was in it against Alabama, but Alabama was better than Ole Miss. The one that Ole Miss probably gave away to a degree was Arkansas. But
7 turnovers.
But when you turn the ball over, at some point you do have to say to the other team, "Hey, congrats, you forced 7 turnovers."
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas would probably argue, "Well, we had something to do with those turnovers, and conversely, we didn't turn it over 7 times, so there."
Yeah,
and that's a valid point.
Yeah. We'll keep talking in a second. I'll tell you about Tyson Drugs and G&M Pharmacy. G&M right there on South Lamar and Oxford. Tyson Drugs on the Square in Holly Springs, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area. They offer MedSync for your prescriptions same day each month to make it easy on you. 1 trip to pick up, 1 delivery, and you have the medicine you need when you need it. And also with Right Way Meds, they'll individually package your medication for those who need that extra bit of assistance. So a lot of ways they help you. Community pharmacy there with G&M. Again, 662-236-2222.
The College Corner is your one-stop Rebel Shop. 2 locations in the Jackson area. In Ridgeland, the College Corner is next to Fleet Feet. In Flowood, it's next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, it's not a problem. You can visit the College Corner at collegecornerstore.com. And you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Whether you're tailgating in Oxford or home gating with friends and family, the College Corner has you covered for game day. Largest selection of Rebel gear in Central Mississippi. Again, collegecornerstore.com. Also brought to you by the Iron Horse Grill with live music 4 times per week. It's the perfect place to enjoy lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch. It's also the largest beverage caterer in Mississippi, can service the entire state. So call Sarah Black at 601-398-0151 for your catering needs. We are brought to you by Pinnacle Trust based in Madison, Mississippi. They've got clients in more than 20 states. They've got advisors in multiple states as well. Founded in 1997, Pinnacle Trust provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Pinnacle Trust, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's pintrust.com, P-I-N-N trust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the Oxford Exxon Podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fees. And we're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you've been thinking about a holiday trip, thinking about going ahead and making a big summer trip next year, you can get great deals today. You think you can get Cyber Monday deals. You can get Cyber Monday deals all week long at Regency Travel. All you have to do is get in touch with John. Just give him some parameters, give him a budget, and sit back. He'll give you options that you're not going to find on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. And we're brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles, great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com.
Let's see. So, Kiffin didn't say much else today. Said they've had a little bit of COVID issue, but they got the week off. It didn't sound like much of a problem. Talk about Matt Corral a little bit. I said might have to have a few more conversations with him as the draft gets close. Obviously, they need to keep him in an Ole Miss uniform for next season. Elijah Moore will be in the NFL next season, but Matt, hell of a night from a deep throw standpoint. It's gotten better every single game and throughout the season. It's a broken record, but the fact that he was not the starting quarterback last year continues to defy logic that is hard to explain. But he's improved. He's in the perfect fit with Lebby and Kiffin. They've made him better. He's not the same quarterback he was a year ago by any stretch of the imagination.
No, and I've spent the last hour and a half, if I look distracted on my phone, it's because I'm getting a bunch of feedback. I have reached out to a ton of NFL people today, and I'm getting a lot of feedback from them.
A bit of a Corral profile.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at what Lane said. Lane, one of the things I really respect about Lane, and I think it's going to help him with players down the road, is I don't think Lane's going to be the guy that tries to talk kids into coming back for his benefit. The consensus here, and it's early, and every one of these guys are admitting that, hey, I haven't looked at him as much until recently, been focused on the other guys.
This will also be at rebelgrove.com, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm not going to give a lot of it away right here. But look, he's got a shot now to be one guy says, I've watched him play 4 or 5 times this year. He's a second/third rounder right now. Could easily be the 4th quarterback in this class.
It's a loaded quarterback class.
He says if he comes out, he'll start to get a lot of attention because his easy arm strength, running ability, and playmaking skills show up. He said, I felt that way when Mahomes came out. I'm trying not to give all of it away right here.
That's a pretty good consensus quote. Second, third right now.
Says now he's not Mahomes, but he has very interesting arm talent. So, I've talked to about 7 NFL people so far. Got a few people that are out. I'm being careful. A couple of them are like, "Hey, you can use this. Don't quote me directly. Don't want it to sound like me, et cetera, et cetera."
And the other side of it is you come back when Trevor Lawrence isn't waiting in the wings, and you become a top 2 quarterback in the next season and try to make your case for the top 15 picks. All of a sudden.
And this is where, and maybe you know more than I do, this is where you probably know college football better than I do in this regard. I don't know who the candidates are to be the 2022 class. I know about Lawrence, and I know about Fields, and I know about the kid at BYU whose stock is jumping, and Mac Jones, obviously, and Kyle Trask. And
yeah, let's pull this up. Here's a 2022 mock draft, just for the heck of it. Let's see who's on there. Let me find it.
And Matt's never going to be the 6'4.5" prototypical NFL quarterback. So there are going to be some things that he has to overcome, to become a first-round pick.
Okay, and again, if Corral's not on here, don't get offended. I'm just looking for names. All this matters. This was last updated November 15th. It's Walter Camp football. They do tons of mock drafts. Frankly, they're not very good at them, but they do them, so that's good enough for the moment.
But you get names. That's what I'm curious about.
Number 1 overall pick, Sam Howell, quarterback, North Carolina.
Okay.
The kid that Longo's got right now.
Yep.
Number 2, Colts take USC quarterback, Kenan Slovis. I'll take Corral over him all
I'll take
day
Corral over
long.
Slovis right now and without thinking twice. I like Howell.
Howell's good.
Yeah.
We'll see as it goes on. Logan Brown, tackle, Wisconsin. Derek Stingley, corner, LSU. Can't hate that. By the way, Elijah Moore and Stingley got a chance to be one hell of a day right there.
A lot of eyes on it.
If that's what they'd like to do. Defensive men from Oregon at 5. Nolan Smith, Georgia 6. Zach Harrison, Ohio State 7. Wanya Morris, offensive tackle, Tennessee 8. Wide receiver Clemson 9. Wide receiver Georgia 10. Linebacker Alabama 11. Tackle Miami 12. Tyler Show, quarterback Oregon 13.
Give me Corral over him all
day. Say there's a path here to be 1 or 2 from a quarterback standpoint if he comes back. I'm just flipping through anything else. And
I'd be surprised if Matt
I don't
left.
think he's coming out personally.
No,
but
I don't either. I will say that he made 3 or 4 throws on Saturday. It was like, whoa.
they've got 17 overall. Charles Cross at Mississippi State. Sam Williams ate his lunch on Saturday.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel it. A lot of defensive players. It is not a quarterback-heavy draft by any stretch of the imagination. A year out, obviously.
Yeah,
a year and a half
it could
out.
change. But, like, you've got other guys in this draft, like Ellinger at Texas, and I mean, there's a lot of dudes.
That's it. No other quarterbacks.
Yeah.
There's a path right there. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, the only quarterback that I would even think about there in front of Corral, and I'd have to think about it, is Howell.
No, Howell's good.
And there's a big money. Grind makes a point. He says the money's in the 22 draft for sure for Corral. There's a big difference now between going late third round and going early second round, money-wise.
Oh.
Big difference. Big difference. And obviously it's night and day difference going in the first round than going in the third. You literally have to get to your second contract to think about making up that money.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he has his 4th SEC Offensive Player of the Week thing in 11 starts? 10 starts?
Yeah.
I mean,
Whatever
damn near
it is.
half the time.
Yeah, I mean I don't even count last year anymore. I throw it out. He's got 8 SEC starts. It's the way I look at it. I throw last year out. I no longer hold that against him. I hold it against the people who coached him.
Yeah, JT Daniels will be a 2022 candidate.
Yeah, and he's got some stuff he's got to overcome injury-wise and stuff like that. Again, I'd like to see what happens with Matt when he gets a spring, assuming that there is a spring. I don't know. There might not be a spring, but he'd have meetings all spring where he gets a chance to relax, gets a chance to really dive in deeper with Lebby and Kiffin, learning how to read, learning how to make decisions. That was the big knock on him. I talked to Chris Landry a little while ago, and Chris talked about the knock on Corral coming into the season was his decision making.
Sure.
And that's exactly true. There's no question about that. And he could eliminate that completely with a second strong year. One of the things that when you don't, and Chris mentioned this will be in the story, when you don't have that big prototypical body, and he doesn't, and he's probably not going to have it at this point, when you don't have that big prototypical where you look like damn Cam Newton, you know what I mean? You look like John Elway, Dan Marino, those big Eli Manning, those big bodies where you're like, boy, that guy looks like a quarterback. I mean, look at Kyle Allen.
Mitch Trubisky. Okay.
No.
I know what you mean.
Holy shit, no. But, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, you remove that negative from the equation. I understand.
Big body, strong, Iron Man sort of a guy. When you don't have that, the other stuff has to be really good. The decision-making has to be really good. The athleticism has to be really good. And I think Matt's starting to show a lot of that. I mean, there's a maturity that's happened with him on and off the field that's pretty obvious, that I'm sure a lot of NFL people, before they spent a first-round pick on him, would probably like to see another year of that. But now, a third-round pick, if he's just desperate to get out,
sure,
someone might look at him and go, third round, I'll take that shot.
Mm-hmm. Put him on ice for a couple of years, see what happens.
Maybe not even put him on ice. Maybe get a big steal where your starting quarterback's a third rounder making Russell Wilson money at first.
Yeah, you go, hey.
Yeah, well, the Seahawks were able to build a roster on that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a number of ways to see that. But if his goal is to be a first-round pick, he probably has to come back and prove that, hey, 2020 wasn't a fluke, and I'm going to build on it. And in 2021, I'm going to be even better.
And you enter the year as the top returning quarterback in the league, and because Mac's out, Trask is out, and you know what I mean. It's you.
Sure. I mean, if you're the second quarterback taken behind Sam Howell, you're in the first round, bud.
Yeah, sure.
That's all good. I'd rather compete with those guys. Because if I'm an NFL guy, I'm looking at these guys like I've got a big book on Kyle Trask. I've got a big book on Trevor Lawrence, obviously, Justin Fields. I know what I'm getting now. That book's not that big yet. And then you don't know whether we're going to have a combine. And if you do, what does the combine look like? What does scouting look like? Do you have pro days? Do you have all those things? Those are all questions.
And he's probably not a pro day combine warrior. He's going to be a game warrior. You know what I mean?
Kinda.
Like
yeah. I'd want to put another SEC season on film.
Yeah.
I don't know what his family's financial situation is, what his goals are, all of those things.
Yeah, there are other factors,
who knows?
Obviously.
But just from a pure football standpoint, if my goal is to be an NFL quarterback, and I think that is his stated goal, if that's his goal, one more year with Kiffin and Lebby's probably smart. But it does show you that in today's football, man, this thing happens fast at the quarterback position.
Not really news because we know pretty much who they're going to play and when. But the SEC announced today the tentative plans to determine and announce its schedule of football games for December 12th and December 19th will be on Friday, December 4th of this week. So at the end of the week, they will make the announcements for the 12th and the 19th. And then kickoff times and TV selections for both those weeks will be announced on Sunday, December 6th. So there's your two things there from the SEC. Is you'll know who you're playing on Friday, and then you'll know what time and what channel 2 days later on December the 6th. But it feels like A&M on the 12th and LSU on the 19th.
Would be shocked if it's not.
That just makes all the sense in the world.
I mean, yeah.
So A&M would play Tennessee on the 19th?
Yeah.
Because you can't reverse it and make it work? Does it have to be that way, or is there a reason why?
Well, let's see. If Ole Miss played,
can LSU play Ole Miss on the
12th? If LSU played Ole Miss on the 12th, that would leave.
No, LSU plays Florida on the 12th. No,
yeah, no,
it has to go this way.
It has to go that way because Florida's in the SEC championship game.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ole Miss gets a game. It probably is favored. At least a toss-up, potentially favored to close the year against LSU, and they get one hell of a free shot against A&M.
LSU's got ass-kickings coming. This deal Saturday.
Oh, because they got Bama and Florida the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. This deal Saturday has got ass-kicking written all
So you're
over
getting the Tigers screwed up, losing players left and right, no motivation after A&M, Alabama, and Florida.
And who knows who might opt out by then. I mean, that might even be where Stingley goes, hey, you know what?
I'm good.
My ankle's kind of bothering me.
I got a ring. It's all right.
I got COVID in my ankle.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'll come back next year. Or not.
Oh, we'll see.
I mean, who knows? He's a sophomore, right? True sophomore?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, he's got to come back.
He doesn't have to go back there.
No.
One time, no transfer. One time, no penalty transfer.
August has a chance to be the silliest thing we've ever seen in our entire life.
Kiffin talked about that again today.
Yeah. Got a chance to just be a zoo.
Got a chance to be crazy. Can you imagine if Derek Stingley
on the
starts
market
putting out some feelers? Hey, I need a place to play 1 year.
Everybody in the country goes, yep.
Ooh.
Here's a helmet. What number would you like, sir?
Wouldn't be the only number that he'd be asking about. You got any of them 6-figure jerseys?
The Camaro ain't quite going to cut it this time, bud.
Hey, what if my second numeral was an M?
Yeah.
I'll be number 2M.
Yeah. All right, cool.
So hey, listen, that's the kind of stuff that's going to happen. It's a game changer. People talk about DeJuan Mathis, for example, gets in because he sees the writing on the wall that, hey, I'm not going to be the quarterback at Georgia. I need to go someplace else. That's always happened. Now he just won't have to necessarily sit out a year. It's at a program where you look at like LSU right now where it looks like implosion.
Because it is implosion.
I mean, that's what it looks like. And a guy like Stingley goes, I won a ring here. What's stopping me from going to, I don't know, Georgia, Oklahoma? I'll go win a ring there. I don't need all this chaos. So one thing Nick Saban said that, frankly, is exactly right. I mean, he's been against this, and he's one of the ones who will benefit from it. And he's kind of said as much. And ain't nobody lying. You don't think top players are going to call up Alabama and go, hey, you got room for me? Yeah, he'll lose some guys that lost jobs. Sure, of course. He's going to do that anyway.
Takes the burden off him in a way. Anyway, look at lines. We'll do a couple other things in a minute. When did I tell you that Fannie Mae has announced their new 2021 loan limits? They've increased from $510,400 to $548,250 on conventional loans, and even slightly higher numbers available in Nashville, one of our top markets. It's the largest one-year increase ever, and it should open up the market to even more people while rates are at historic lows still. You can find Jason at Community Mortgage to ask about those and more loan details if you'd like. 662-234-2704. Shoot him an email at jlowe@communitymtg.com.
Podcast also brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of his bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home, all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with the personal touch. When you call OUB, you speak directly with the live person. No 10 minutes to wait, no buttons to push. All you got to do, go to liveoxford, bankoxford.com, or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. I'll have a mailbag up on Wednesday. It's brought to you by Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial and residential family homes. 662-567-2573, 662-842-3844. Also brought to you by the law firm of Bain, Moss & Bowen, located in historic downtown Corinth. Their firm practices a wider range of law, from DUI defense to car wrecks to representing government entities. Bain, Moss & Bowen is the only firm in Mississippi made up of a sitting state legislator, a former assistant district attorney, a former circuit court judge. That experience is unmatched, and you can tap into it by visiting them at 618 East Waldron Street in Corinth, or by calling them at 662-287-1620. We're also brought to you by Meadowbrook Wealth Advisors of Raymond James, a team in Jackson providing planning and investment guidance to clients across the state and the surrounding areas. Financial advisors Bill Geary, Logan Phillips, Chris Carrero, and Ryan Geary are partners with the commitment to personalized service. You can call them at 601-368-2215, see if they might be a good fit for your financial goals. Raymond James and Associates, Incorporated, member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC.
So we added a few other games to Neal's picks this week. Who are we doing outside of the league?
I got Liberty and Coastal Carolina, because why not?
Sure.
Indiana and Wisconsin, which is that line's probably going to jump now that the news is out about Penix, the Indiana quarterback, out for the year.
Oh, is he really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, ACL. West Virginia at Iowa State, and that's it. Everything else is in the league.
And everybody's playing, but who?
Everybody's playing, but Ole Miss and State, right?
Oh, is that it? Is that
I think
just
so.
those two?
Yeah.
Okay. State's off this week?
Yeah.
I don't know that I knew that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Pull up the lines, see what you have them at, see what we have them at. Go to OddsShark.
Grind says Gus Malzahn said Bo Nix will win a championship for Auburn. Bo going into coaching?
He joining like the Kappas in the intramural league? Like, what are we doing?
I mean, I guess he could come back and coach them to a championship. They don't look like a championship program right now. Ed Orgeron apparently said something ridiculous.
Oh, what did he say?
I don't know. I'm looking for it. Let's see. Our people are active today. I like that. Killer Cam insists that Kyle Trask is Carson Wentz, meaning, and not in a good way, can't win the big one.
Oh.
Says Killa says that Eddie O just said that LSU will be champs again. Well, I mean, that's pretty open-ended. I could buy that somebody comes to LSU down the road and wins another championship. Nick Saban won one. Les Miles won one. Eddie Orgeron won one. I mean, it's conceivable that somebody else will win one. I don't see Orgeron winning another one.
No. What's Orgeron's next thing?
Oh, no.
Coordinator? Another gig?
I don't know. I mean, he might get a gig at a lower level when this is over.
ULM?
That would be the kind of place that would make sense, honestly.
I don't know. Is ULM Northern Louisiana is a whole different thing. I mean, they take it Orgeron. Don't get me wrong, but that's not exactly a fit.
No, but once he got humbled a little bit, who knows? Lafayette.
When Napier leaves and goes wherever he
Yeah,
goes.
something like that.
Yeah. TV, like Chisholm.
Ryan says McNeese. A place like McNeese.
He gets up better than that. I mean, he does have a national title last year.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, Auburn -3.5 for the Aggies. 6.5 Aggies over the Tigers in this one.
I will say this is the kind of game that Auburn wins all the time. Late in the season, at home, as an underdog, they win these kind of games all the time.
And A&M still trying to get through the year and not pulling A&M.
They do this all the time. These are the kinds of games that Auburn wins throughout its history.
So you're picking the Tigers this week?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it, but I'm just telling you, how many times has Auburn, late in the season, at home, knocked off Georgia, knocked off Alabama when people thought they wouldn't do it? It happens all the damn time. They don't win those games on the road, but they win those games at home all the time. I know it's a different year and it's a different environment and blah, blah, blah. I get it.
You don't want to win this week, Brian?
I know the hardcore Auburn fans do not want to win this week.
We'll give you a blowout win, Grind. Come on, like 42-10. You can ruin A&M's feelings.
That would be the worst. They don't want that. They'd like a blowout. I think an Auburn fan, if you said it can be 42-10, he'll go, just give it to me. Just give it to me right now. Hit me.
You are triggering Oh, God. The really emotionally fragile Auburn fan, that might be the way you go. You bet on Auburn to win this week, just an emotional hedge to go, hey, if they win, at least I'll get a couple $100 out of it. If not, hey, I'll be happy to pay $200 for a loss this weekend. Yeah, sounds great. Sure. It's all good.
For sure.
Let's see. Ohio State gets Michigan State, 23.5 on that one this week. Tulane favored by 1.5 over the Memphis Tigers in New Orleans this week. Cincinnati, Tulsa. Cincinnati still trying to keep their unbeaten season going. They're 3.5-point favorites against the Golden Hurricane this week. Tulsa's not a bad football team.
No, not at all. Not bad at all.
Arkansas, Missouri. The Missouri Tigers are favored by 3 in Como. That's what I have that one out.
Yeah, I kind of like Missouri here.
They're playing well.
Mm-hmm.
They are. They're playing okay. Let's see. Liberty, Coastal. I got that one at Coastal -7 is where I have it. Where you got it?
It's 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Chanticleers giving Hugh 7 points on this one in Conway, South Carolina. Notre Dame giving Syracuse 33.5 this weekend. I know Syracuse really, really, really sucks, but that's a big line against Notre Dame, who's just going to kind of run the clock and methodically win a football game. That feels really big. Louisiana Monroe getting 21 in Jonesboro this weekend.
Need more than that.
Yeah, they're going to need more than that. Florida and Tennessee, 17 on this one. Gators by 17.
Yeah, that's what I've got. Got like Florida here big.
Tennessee just
bad. A lot of talk in Knoxville. Lots of talk.
They were so stupid. So stupid.
Lots of talk in Knox Vegas.
Indiana,
too much talk for there to be nothing there.
Indiana, Wisconsin, I assume this is a line that has moved because what you're talking about, it's up to 14.
Yeah, I had it at 10 early.
Okay, so it's still going to 14 here. Iowa is a 13-point favorite over the Illinois Illini this weekend.
That actually could be a pretty competitive game from a line standpoint. Illinois is not awful.
No, they're fine.
Iowa's good. Not great, but good.
Michigan by 5 over Maryland this weekend. So,
whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
two bad Big Ten teams.
It's over, dead in the water either way. So it is what it is. Vanderbilt and Georgia, 34.5 on this one.
So we hadn't talked about it. Derek Mason gets the axe the day after they do the publicity stunt, and the two were not related.
No,
other than I'm told that was a remarkably unhappy football team. coming back from Como to Nashville.
I guess my question is, Vanderbilt's 0-8. Why? Why fire him now? Are you just trying to get ahead?
I think it's because the next 2 weeks we're going to be ultra miserable.
Okay.
He lost his team on Saturday.
Okay.
Not by her playing, but by her giving the halftime speech thing. If you've never played on a team, you have no idea. You have to have a certain leadership. You have to have a certain gravitas inside of a team to stand up in the middle of a locker room down 21 points and, for lack of a better word, ream your teammates. Walking onto a team, I don't care if you're a girl or a boy.
Where they've been getting your head kicked in and trying to play through it for weeks.
They've been pushing through it, and then that first half went bad, and all that attention's on this soccer player who came over to kick, and they were unhappy because there were other people on that team who they felt could do the kicking. He lost his team. And once you've lost your team, you don't get it back. They're gone.
He'll be a coordinator somewhere moving forward. Vanderbilt, I don't know. You got to assume they're going to take a shot at Will Healy. It's just a bad job. I saw a lot of people who I like. I've seen a lot of talking heads try to go, well, if this and this and this, and I get James Franklin did it for a couple of years. But coming back to that stat, they've never signed a top 100 kid in their history, or since the Rivals era started in 2002. In the East, it's not a stepchild at this point. Every year you're playing Tennessee and Florida and Georgia, and Kentucky's got a very stable program. There are zero even toss-up wins on your schedule to start the year, and now you got to play a Power 5 team from another conference.
And Alabama's your permanent opponent. Ole Miss is your permanent opponent. I was thinking about Tennessee for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss is getting better.
Yeah, it's just hard.
No, it's a real hard job. It's why you wonder if maybe you do the Jeff Fisher thing.
I hire an option quarterback and make them an option coach and make them prepare for me. I try to be Georgia Tech.
I said this yesterday on Greatest Pod in the South. I go, if I'm Vanderbilt, now that I've done it publicly, I go sit down with Pat Fitzgerald. I go sit down with David Shaw. I go sit down with David Cutcliffe. And I say, how did you do it? I first offer them the job. They're going to say no. And then I say, how did you do what you did here? How have you built this to be this steady? How did you do it? And I get some feel on how it can be done. I would be a little concerned about running a gimmick, because once the gimmick gets old, can you recruit to it?
But they can't recruit the other way. I guess that's my point.
Well, that's why
I can't recruit the other way, then because look, I'm not convinced. God, and this sounds so whatever. The style of football is different, not the athletes. I'm not doing the SEC thing.
Right.
I don't know that Northwestern could do it for 8 weeks in the SEC every year.
I don't know that they could either, but I'd want to know, could I get Vanderbilt to a place where we went 3-1 in the non-league every year?
Yeah, sure.
Got a couple of SEC wins, and we were always pushing for that 6th win, where we weren't doing this deal where you just.
I think Northwestern is the best comp out of what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just go talk to those 3 people, and I say, how did you do what you did?
Yeah, you're in a very well liked urban area. You've got some academic issues that make it where you can't recruit. I am wrong, but can you do what Bobby Johnson did to any level at Georgia Tech? Can you be that team that finds the athlete and does this and does that? And
I'll throw a crazy one at you.
Go hire the dude from Navy.
I'll throw a crazier one at you.
Sure.
You call Jim Harbaugh?
He would say no, but
I don't know. He's about to get canned where he is.
He'd say no.
Say, we're going to make this Stanford East.
He'd say no.
I'd try that before I just went gimmicky football-wise. I'd try to – here's the number one thing, whether you're going gimmicky or whether you're hiring Jim Harbaugh or you're hiring Jeff Fisher. You've got to sit down with the people up front and go, hey, what are we doing? Are we in this or not? Are we going to build a facility or not? Are we going to be able to compete facility-wise or not? Because if the answer is, well, this is what we've got, then I don't care if you go hire Nick Saban, it's not going to work. The league's too good for that. So you got to address that.
They don't even know whether they're going to have an AD from year to year. I mean, seriously, they're the most discombobulated athletic department in the country.
But you could walk in as a football coach and go, okay, is it mine? If I raise the money, we can do it. Is it mine? Are you going to let me have what Corbin has? Because Corbin doesn't walk into that building.
Mm.
You said, you give me a football building and let me run a football program. If the answer is yes, here's the money, okay. I mean, it's a great town. Location's not bad. Nashville's close to a lot of places. There's a lot there. There's an academic reputation. Blah, blah, blah. There's stuff. But you can, and then you have to say, and you're never doing what you did to me you're never doing to me what you did to Derek Mason on Saturday, where we turned our football program into a circus. And that's what it was. And it's not about the girl. It's not about her being a girl. It's just, that was a circus.
Why does Jeff Fisher want the job? Why would he give it?
Why? Nashville guy, coached the Titans, thinks he could put together a big-time staff, etc. Why not? You know, you tell it. Once you're a coach, you're always a coach.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
For the thousands of people who told Andy Kennedy, hey, man, you're great at this TV thing. And he would admit this, all he'd ever think is, I just want to coach. Coach is coach. That's why when people go, Urban Meyer, he's so good at Fox, he's never going to leave Fox. All right, we'll see. We'll see. When he gets that call from Texas, I guarantee you he picks up the phone. Ego. That ego doesn't get satisfied at Fox the way that it would beating Oklahoma.
Is there any Texas scuttlebutt?
Urban.
That's it. You don't think it's past his prime?
I don't know. All that matters is what Texas thinks and what he thinks.
Amen.
Ginger points out that Sarah, what's her name?
Fuller.
Sarah Fuller got the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week award. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that really bothers me. You cheapen that award to that degree. She didn't even kick an extra point. It's not about her. It's just, it would have been really cool if she had played in the game and gone 2 for 2 on PATs and made a 31-yarder. It'd be awesome. We'd all be celebrating it about how great it is. But she didn't get to do that. She kicked off one time. A squib kick to the 35 or 30, one or the other.
Have we seen if she's still playing? I know she has the option, Mason said.
Seems to be indicating that she's going to play.
Okay. Carolina, Kentucky by 11.5, and this one beats me. I don't know.
I'm not watching it.
I mean, betting on this one might be the degenerate game of the week because I don't know. Like, whatever. Sure.
Bad team.
Carolina was out. Tons of starters on Saturday against Georgia. They've got all sorts of COVID issues now, but they're still playing. Kentucky is Kentucky. I don't know. And now everybody's all pissed off because their basketball team loses to Richmond. So
yeah, they got beat yesterday.
Bailing in November already on the Wildcats. They got all mad because for some reason Cal couldn't be at the postgame press conference, and they thought he had said he was doing it just because they lost. But the announcement was before the game that he couldn't be there. But fans did not take that well. Every time Kentucky gets close to losing, I go find all the Kentucky media members' Twitters, and I have like a 15-minute popcorn session a little bit. It's good. It's close to Tennessee football. I get a whole lot more chances with Tennessee football, but those are the two that I like. Clemson giving Justin Fuente 21 points on Saturday in Blacksburg.
Lay 'em.
Yeah. Alabama LSU 28.5.
Lay 'em.
Over 4 touchdowns, McCready.
Keep going. Lay 'em. You could
tell
me 30. You could tell me 38.5.
Still laying them.
I'd think about 48.5.
Oklahoma giving 22 to the Baylor Bears on Saturday. How's Dave Aranda done this year?
Not particularly good. And
Really?
Oklahoma's gotten better fast.
Yeah, they have. Let's see. In a conference that no one gives two shits about, Arizona State giving 4 to UCLA this weekend.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm seriously, like, whatever. And then USC, the only team that's, I guess, sort of relevant, but they can't seem to play enough games, is minus 14 against Washington State on Saturday night late. If you're looking for a game, it will be on television at that point. Let's see how. The Herm Edwards thing has been interesting. You're right there. That has been one that's fairly interesting.
Yeah, he's
done a good job.
He's done okay. So I mean, that would make you inquire about a Jeff Fisher.
Same sort of dude.
Put together a staff and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look, we said this about Ole Miss and Kiffin last year. Where Vanderbilt is on the ladder right now, there literally is nowhere to fall. So why not? If you take a big chance and it, quote, doesn't work, so?
Can't get worse.
Well, I mean, if you're on the bottom rung of the ladder, frankly, if you haven't even gotten to the bottom rung, and someone says, well, you're going to fall, I'm literally not going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I fell off the ladder, but I wasn't on the ladder yet.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're all right. Yeah, I'm good. You embarrassed yourself. So what? You're already embarrassed. Again, it's that whole deal of if you're where Alabama is and you say, well, we're going to hire Jeff Fisher. You're like, you're going to do what? You're at the very top of the ladder and you're going to fall? Well, that's going to hurt. But like where Ole Miss was last year, I mean, I told people when they're like, I can't believe they're going to take a chance on Lane Kiffin. I'm like, what's going to happen? I mean, they're 4-8. What's the worst that could happen? Well, you could be Arkansas. Okay, so what's the difference between 4-8 and 2-10 at the end of the day, really?
Nothing.
I mean, what is the difference? I would argue nothing. Maybe one small step on the ladder, one of the little baby steps. So instead of it just kind of hurting your foot, maybe you kind of sprain your ankle a little, not even much. I mean, that you take chances when you're already rock bottom. You take fewer chances when you're at the top.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Vanderbilt, go for it.
I said that you're going to finish this year, and out of the 4 new jobs, 3 of the fan bases are going to be ecstatic with their coaches.
Yeah.
Missouri's happy with Drinkwitz.
Sure.
Pittman's happy. Arkansas is good.
Thrilled. Ole Miss is
elated with Lane Kiffin right now. Yeah.
So if I'm Vanderbilt,
one LSU went away from everybody going, oh.
I mean, no bullshit. If I'm Vanderbilt, yeah, I call Jim Harbaugh. Sure. I don't. And here's the great thing: when you're this bad, you just get everybody to say no to you. I mean, what difference does it make?
Oh no, you can't worry about that.
I mean,
at all.
You're the fat guy that's officially decided. You know what? I'm going to ask out all the supermodels.
Yeah, and somebody goes, "She told you no." Okay,
nah. So of course you did. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I'm going to ask another one.
Look at me. I'm going to go ask another one now. And if they all say no, you just move on at some point.
Yeah,
because at some point you can find somebody will take it because somebody's going to want the money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get to a place. I mean, look, let's get real. If enough people turned it down, you could go call Hugh Freeze. Put $3 million a year in front of him, I bet he jumps.
You think he'd take it?
Yeah, I mean, he's not. Look, he couldn't even get on the radar at Carolina. He's supposedly on the Tennessee radar, but I'm going to believe Phil Fulmer hiring Hugh Freeze when I see it. He's not getting LSU in a year. Hugh Freeze isn't going to get the Texas job. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll close that one more thought in a second. Before we do that, I'll tell you about Visit Oxford, visitoxfordms.com. Hope you enjoyed some of the events over the weekend, Black Friday and Egg Bowl Saturday as well. The elf scavenger hunt has started, will start tomorrow, actually, December 1st to December 30th. You can find all 12 elves scattered around different businesses on the historic downtown square. Pick up a card at Visit Oxford to participate. Return that card once they're found, and you're entered into a prize drawing that will be on the 30th at 3:30. You do not have to be present to win. The Holiday Village is at the Ford Center December 3rd to December 17th. They've got gingerbread houses, ceramic winter village with a working train, North Pole mailbox direct to Santa. Also this year, a Lego gingerbread house built by the Ford Center staff. You can find the operating hours at visitoxfordms.com. And the Christmas movies at the Drive-In, December 5th. Christmas Vacation, December 11th. The Santa Claus, the 12th. Elf, the 18th. Die Hard, and the 19th. A Christmas Story. Also, remember Holly Jolly Holiday is December 11th through 13th. You can sign up for ice skating, carriage rides, and more there on the Visit Oxford website. So, again, visitoxfordms.com.
We're also brought to you by Heritage Properties, home to 3 communities in Oxford, Faulkner Flats, Cambridge Station, and Lexington Point. All 3 properties are multifamily housing. They all offer on-site management and maintenance. They're pet-friendly, and they offer short-term leases. You don't want to miss out on the special rates at Faulkner Flats. 3 bedrooms now leasing for the price of a 2-bedroom. Contact live@faulknerflats.com or call 662-234-4558. With fall and winter getting upon us, now's a great time to start preparing for the cold weather. No one wants to come home, find out that heating system isn't working. Our friends over at Comer Heating and Air have you covered. Comer Heating and Air is the name you can trust, brings more than 50 years of professional HVAC experience to Oxford, Tupelo, and the surrounding area. Comer Heating and Air offering a special fall preventative maintenance agreement to make sure your heating system is running in tip-top shape. Make sure to call Comer Heating and Air 662-801-1777 for all your heating and cooling needs. That's Comer Heating and Air, 662-801-1777. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Christmas right around the corner, and you can avoid the last-minute holiday scramble this year. Let the folks over at Blue Delta Jeans make your holiday gifting simple. All you have to do is visit the site, bluedeltajeans.com, stop by the Oxford studio, and purchase your loved ones a gift card for a pair of bespoke Mississippi-made jeans. Every gift card for the full value of a jean will receive a signed copy of Wright Thompson's newly released Pappyland. It's the story of Julian Van Winkle III, the 3rd generation head of a little whiskey brand known as Pappy Van Winkle. Signed copies of Pappyland are limited, so don't wait. Also, don't forget Blue Delta's here for your holiday gifting at work as well. No matter the number of people in your company, give Blue Delta a call to inquire about bringing Blue Delta jeans to your office for the best holiday gift there is. And we're also brought to you by Dead Soxy. Dead Soxy is back with its annual BOGO, buy one, get one free. All you got to do is use the code BLUE to redeem. Don't forget, you got to put both items in your cart before checkout. And there's only one BOGO per transaction, but there's no limit on transactions. So it's deadsoxy.com, promo code BLUE, BLUE.
Speaking of Hugh, I did see Brett McMurphy reporting that because Liberty is not in a conference, they could finish 10-1 and not get a bowl bid this season. Even though there are no requirements on how bowls fill their things, they typically are trying to do them inside conferences, and because of that, it is possible that
really devastates me.
Yeah, they would not get in. My hunch is somebody takes them.
Yeah.
At some point, Freeze was asked about other jobs, and he told Gene Wojciechowski, I won't even entertain things of that nature at this point. I'm at total peace with staying here as long as they'll have me.
If that's the truth, then that's Hugh Freeze maturing because he's at a perfect place. Seriously. He can out-coach people there. He'll do a really good job. He'll make a ton of money. He'll get nothing but favorable coverage, and he'll be adored.
No, sure.
It's a perfect fit for him.
Yeah.
People talk about LSU. That's not a good job for Hugh Freeze. Auburn, people ask questions at Auburn. People dig into you at Auburn. When you lose at Auburn, they criticize.
What I was going to say is you look here, I mean, Franklin's the only dude that's been anywhere close to competitive. Vanderbilt head coaches. Derek Mason finishes his tenure 27-47 in 74 games, 7 seasons, sorry. Franklin went 24-15 in 39 games, including 18 of those in 2 years. He went 9-4 in back-to-back years.
Franklin was in a different SEC.
He was.
That was Houston Nutt at Ole Miss.
1 year that I think was interim, Robbie Caldwell went 2-10 in that 1 year.
Yeah.
I think that was an interim year, but maybe something.
I don't know, whatever.
Bobby Johnson went 29-66, and that was a guy they liked. Like, they actually thought he was okay, and he went 29-66. And then before that, you're getting into the very early part of the century. Woody Weidenhofer went 15-40 in 55 games, and Rob Dower? I don't even remember him.
Dowhauer.
I don't remember him at all. That's interesting.
Well,
Usually I
I'll
at
tell
least
you.
remember coach's name.
He was a defensive coordinator.
I've
that
never
got a
heard of
shot.
him.
Yeah.
He went 4-18 in 2 seasons
Yeah.
as the Vanderbilt head coach.
It's a very hard job.
So the last respectable guy other than James Franklin, when I say respectable, I mean like anywhere close to 500, was Jerry DiNardo.
Yeah.
He went 19-25. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Close enough. Good God.
Yeah. Turned 19-25 at Vanderbilt into the LSU job.
He did. I mean, other than Franklin, the last coach to just have a winning record. Oh, speaking of the Devils, Ole Miss fans will know this name. Steve Sloan. Went 12-9 in 23 games.
Wow.
1973, 1974.
It's a very hard job. It's the hardest job in the league, without any question. You can argue about what's 13th, but there's no argument about what's 14th.
DiNardo went at Vanderbilt 5-6, 4-7, 5-6, 5-6.
My point on Harbaugh, Nicholas says I must be drunk. I'm not. It's just 2:20. Holler back in 7 hours. You never know. No, it's not. I'm not saying that Jim Harbaugh would take the job. I'm saying I'd call and offer him the job. He was successful at Stanford, and he's about to get canned at Michigan.
He is.
That's why he's putting his name in all these NFL feelers. Just check it out. Take a shot. You literally have nothing to lose. That's my point. Yeah, Peter Burns referred to Vanderbilt as a top 5 job, and it was like, Pete.
He did come out and say he was taken out of context.
He did. I heard it when he said it.
What did he say?
Well,
what was the
just
reasonings?
Nashville, no expectations, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I get what he was trying to get at, but in no world is that a top 5 job in any possible way. You can't spin it enough.
Well,
that's like taking me and going, okay, well, if he had hair.
Well, because 6-6 there is as hard as 10-2 in a lot of other places. I mean, hell, you know what I mean?
6-6 there is very hard.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, the expectations are lower, but for
his
a reason.
point is, that you have the ability, and the other part that he said, and if he's right, then I start to say, okay, well, maybe I kind of see what a little bit of kind of what you were sort of trying to get at is if they hand carte blanche and go, we're going to build a new facility, we're going to do all these things, and you can make it the way you want it.
But
okay, well, now I at least start to kind of see what world he was talking about. But
yeah, I mean,
you have Nashville going for you, and right now that's it.
Okay.
That's it. And the Vanderbilt a degree from Vanderbilt has academic prestige.
Yeah,
no question. Sure.
Stanford's been able to really use that.
Yeah.
That's been a huge thing for
That's why I'm saying I'd call those people. So I'd call Jim Harbaugh, and then when he said, no, I'd say, hey, can I ask you how you did what you did at Stanford? Can you, try to have those conversations? Be the one advantage to firing him now is that I've got a week to go talk to people, 2 weeks to go talk to people, to pick people's brains who aren't going to take my job. And I'm asking every one of those people, is there someone you would hire? And I'm paying attention. My mind is wide open if I'm them.
We speak a little bit about Penix being out and then just Tom Allen in general. I did see Zach Osterman earlier today say that he was looking at some Allen buyout stuff in case anything came after him over the year. His buyout until December of 2021, $23.5 million.
Oh, yeah,
so Tom Allen not going anywhere from
Well,
Indiana.
and he's really happy there. It's where he's from.
It's a great spot.
Yeah, it's his alma mater.
Yeah.
He's actually made them a very competitive Big Ten program.
Where are you going? Why?
Why would you leave?
Yeah, it's all good there. But 23.5 for Tom Allen. So we'll do a lot of NFL tomorrow, as we've typically been doing on Tuesday, especially during a bye week when Ole Miss is not playing. And then whatever else you guys want to talk about as the week goes on. We're given a gift yesterday to do this, but the Saints, the number one defense in the NFL for the first time under Sean Payton in 14 years. They are playing pretty well. They've only allowed 28 points in the last 4 games.
They are.
But that was a joke yesterday.
It was tough to watch it.
I mean, I went into it because I'm always just nervous in general, and I was like, well, I mean, he can't be that whatever. It's got to be whatever. But no.
It showed you how difficult it is to be a quarterback in the NFL.
You mean the guy that played like 4 games at Wake Forest couldn't just come in and
then later
make that happen?
Later that afternoon, I flipped to a game in Tampa with the guy that's won what, 5 Super Bowls, 6 Super Bowls? What's he won? 6, 5, 4? I don't know, a bunch.
A lot.
And I watched how hard it is to be an NFL quarterback.
Saints got a little help from the 49ers yesterday. They beat the Rams 23-20. Rams really gave a game away. I watched a pretty good bit of that because they went off of Saints-Broncos in the second half.
Breaking Patrick Mahomes is really good.
He's not bad, yeah. He is the MVP, and everybody else gets to pick who is second for the MVP. So,
God, he's so good.
So we'll look at playoff pictures. We'll do more, and obviously any college football news as the week goes on. Appreciate everybody in the live stream. A lot of good conversation there today, and we will talk to you again